here. We are going to make some spaetzle this morning. It's really quiet around us. We got here really early because this is a little more of an in-depth video, a lot more things you have to do with it, a lot more steps. It's easy, but a lot of steps. So what I've got here is just 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Doesn't matter the brand, use your store, doesn't matter. I've got 3 eggs I'm going to crack and get inside here of this flour. 1, 2, and 3. I make a well in the middle of my flour mixture just because my home ec teacher told me to. That's it. 1 cup of milk, whole milk, skim milk, I don't care. And then you're going to mix those 4 cups of flour with the 3 eggs and the 1 cup of milk. I always remember it as 4, 3, 1. Skipping the number 2. And you're just going to mix, mix, mix. You're going to get a look of it like this. Miss Bonnie is doing our videoing today, so I'll have her come up and get a nice look into this bowl versus y'all just looking at me flying my arms around. So you see the egg and the milk, and I'm a big fan of, once it mixes a little bit, getting rid of this utensil and using my hands. As you can see, there's no rings on today. All those big fancy TV people with all their big fancy jewelry, we women and men in the kitchen know if you're going to do anything, you better get those rings off or you're going to run them. So all of that 4 cups of flour makes a nice little round ball of dough. No big deal. So take that. I've got a nice knife here. No sense in washing your hands because your hands are going to stay in this mess no matter what you do. Right now in the kitchen I've got a big pot of water on the stove and got it down on low so it can start getting to boiling. You're going to need a little more reserve all-purpose flour just to keep this dough from sticking. So I flatten it out with my hand. I like to use a pizza cutter to cut this, but I'm going to go ahead and do a knife this morning. So just flatten it out. I'm going to put a little flour in the bottom of this bowl to put my noodles in once I cut them. And spaetzle here is a big deal. We do it as an appetizer. We do it with our dinners, with our Jaeger schnitzel, and it kind of just replaces your mashed potatoes and gravy if you're having it like you would as your chicken fried steak. My granddaughter is 4. This is her favorite thing ever. And when they go to other restaurants, she's frustrated she cannot get spaetzle at some of their favorite places that they go. They live up in Tulsa. She wants to get spaetzle all the time. So you're just gonna cut, 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 cut. I'm gonna let Bonnie keep using the film and looking around right here, and I'm gonna go grab a pizza cutter. And start back. So the pizza cutter, as you can see, does a lot faster than the knife business. When I started working for Dawn quite a few years ago, she was always making this and she would sit and cut it with a knife, and I do not have the patience for that business. As you can see, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're just gonna throw those in there, and the big pieces are actually look a little smaller and will loosen up in that water. They're stuck together. So I'm gonna flatten, flatten, flatten. There is spaetzle makers, spaetzle cutters. We don't have one of those, so we're not gonna worry about it. The pizza thing will make it a lot faster. It's not perfect, no one cares. Like I said, it's gonna be served here with melted cheese on top of it, and it's also gonna be served with our Jaeger sauce, which is like a nice thick brown gravy with onions, bacon, and mushrooms cooked into that gravy. Gets drizzled over the top of these noodles. So we are just cutting, cutting, cutting. You can see I get them with the pizza. Gets drizzled over the top of these noodles. So we are just cutting, cutting, cutting. You can see I get them with the pizza cutter a lot better than I get them with a knife. And obviously, I don't have a lot of patience to sit and cut it with a knife because I got a lot of other stuff I need to do. So, just flatten, flatten, flatten. We probably go through, I would say, 2 batches of this a day during our busy season, and then at least 1 during our winter. It doesn't make a whole lot because we want to have it nice and fresh, but we do have these made up We don't have to do this every single day. We'll do it, oh, I can make 2 or 3 batches in a day, and then we can get them in our nice, trusty Ziploc baggie and freeze them and pull them out as they need them. So once this process is all done and it's all cut, they'll go into a big pot of boiling water. It takes about, I'd say about 15 minutes. You want them to get nice and firm in there, and kind of think of it as a dumpling, because that's kind of what it is. And once they get in that water and get to boiling, when they come out of that, you rinse them in cold water, and kind of like you would spaghetti if you're going to save some of those noodles somewhere, and it keeps it from getting stuck together. That cold water does. Separates it all out, because you want it to be nice and not stuck together. So we're just cutting, cutting, cutting. Like I said, it's a process. You have little hands at home that like to help, you could give them a little piece of dough and let them do it. I'm extremely left-handed, so I have to turn everything to help myself out. And it's a messy job, but I'm probably a more messier cook than most people. Maybe that's why I'm so fast at it. I don't know. But I'm pretty messy. So this is the last little piece. We're cutting, cutting, cutting. And you can see how if you were doing it with a knife, like I said, it would take a long time to get through this. And then we're going to turn it. I forgot to bring in that colander earlier, strainer, whatever you want to call it. It does it a lot better than that bowl, because I can shake off this excess flour before I put it into my boiling water. And then I don't get so much starch in my water. So, there's our lovely Spaetzle. We're going to loosen some of these up and actually shake some of that flour off. So that's our Spaetzle. Once this is all done, and we put it on the top of Betsy, our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful grill, she turns it into some yummy, yummy goodness. I mean, without her, it would not taste the same. So, this was part 1. Okay. Okay, now this is all nice and done. This is just cold water coming out of this hose. And I'm just going to rinse it really, really, really well and get all that starchy water washed off of it. And you want to kind of dry it, let it dry before you put it up. You could spread it out on a cutting board if you have room. In the kitchen, we need all the room we have back here. We have a lot going on in the morning. So I'm just going to let it sit in this colander until she needs it, and then I'll put it into something else. So that is Spaetzle. Nice and pretty.